Hello, everyone. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Leigh Ralston. If we haven't met before, hello, and I'm super glad that you are here today to join us for another fun class with Michaels and Faber-Castell USA. Halloween is just right around the corner, and today's class we're going to be learning some doodling. Who loves to doodle? I do. I'm super excited. I really love the kawaii style of doodling. If you are not familiar with it, it's okay because I will show you all my simple, easy to follow along some drawings that I think you'll be able to really do in your journals. Use it for different type of projects. You know, the things that I teach is something that you can use for many different things. It's not just for your journaling, or it's not specific for like paper bags that we're going to do today. You can use it for journals, you can use it for card making, you can use it for many other things, you know, making labels, personalizing your stuff, your school supplies, your office supplies, and many different other things. And also, while I'm doing the class, and if I'm getting a little too fast, you know, just let me know. I'm going to try my hardest to just really make it simple for you to follow along. And also, like, if you're following and playing and drawing along with me today, we would love to see some of your projects and your creations. You can tag Faber-Castell USA. I'm also on social media. My name is @MommyLay. But if you are ready, I am ready. I'm going to head over to the overhead camera and we'll get this class started. Okay, so here we go. I just have a couple of samples in here. Actually, we have some candies in here. But these are just some of the projects I created using just some simple doodles. I bought some plain, this is like treat bags in here. I got the Halloween colors. We have some pink. I have some orange in here. And then I just used some cute, pretty ribbons in here. This one is just simple clouds, stars. I used some white markers in here, and also I have some metallic markers as well. This one, we just have this very cute ghost, as you can see, and then we just added a little bit of patterns, simple patterns. Look at her, it's like winking. So it's not going to be anything scary or anything like that. So we're going to make some cute kawaii Halloween doodles in here. I have this box as well. I got this from Michaels. And then you can put in like gifts inside. But I decorated the cover. So this is the top. I used some Faber-Castell PITT Artist Pen in gold and the white. And then I also decorated the four corners of this box. So this one I used the silver. Then I used the metallic gold again with a little bit of silver in there. This one I used the purple color. And this one I just used the blue. So as you can see, you can create so much by using just simple doodles. And I say simple, it's really simple. If you do not have a gift paper bag or a gift box like that, it's okay. I do have some sample paper bags in here though, so that's what we're going to do later. But before that, we're going to do a little bit of exercises. If you just have a piece of copy paper or your notebook or a sketchbook, that's going to be fine. You can start with some pencil if you'd like, but I think so you can see the screen. Sometimes it's hard to see when I'm using some pencil. So I'm just going to jump and use the PITT Artist Pen. This is Faber-Castell PITT Artist Pen, and I'm going to use the 1.5 or the bullet tip. Okay. I love using the PITT Artist because this is India ink. If you're using it in your journal, you're not going to worry about any bleed through. It's odorless, and it's also waterproof and high light fastness. It means that your drawings and your journals are going to last for a very, very long time. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of exercises. I want you to get on your feet and we're going to do some jumping jacks. Okay, that's really cheesy. That's not what we're going to do today. So just sample doodle exercises. I hope you didn't really get up. Okay, so sample doodle exercises. This is something that I really need to do before I do any type, some sort of illustration. So even in my journals, you're going to see me do a lot of just simple pattern making. When I say pattern making, we're just going to create shapes, you know, some basic, simple circles or ovals like this. And I play around with the shape. Sometimes my ovals will be on the wider side of things, small. So you can play with it like skinny, like really stretched. The reason why I love doing some doodle exercises is because it's kind of like when I am working out, you know, and if you're not new to my classes, then you've heard me say this before, but this is like where my brain and my hand really connects. My brain tells my hand to do one thing, and if I don't do some exercises, my hand goes like, what are you asking me to do? So just kind of do a little bit of exercises like this. There, some wiggly lines, some C curve. You can do some S curve like this. Play with your shape and the sizes. You can do dashes, horizontal, vertical. You can do some X like this. So you're practicing your diagonal lines like this. Because when I'm doing some doodles are just really, it's not supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be very simple because it's a very relaxed type of way of drawing. So feel like your hands are in control now because sometimes my brain is telling my hands to create some straight lines, my straight line is definitely not straight lines, or it's telling me to create a circle, it is not circle. So when I feel like, okay, this is good, I'm getting good enough control from my doodles, from my lines are not that wiggly, I can create better circles and better shapes than in the beginning. All right, so once you're done practicing, you want to switch over to your piece of art or your journal, sketchbook. This case, I am going to use a paper bag. This one. And all right, so Sarah's showing me a black, is that a black card? Are you making a card? Okay, so I'm going to use this paper bag. I'm going to move over these treat bags before I eat those candies inside. Okay, this is always scary. Do you agree with me? Every time you have a blank canvas like this is not even white, but when it's like a white notebook and it's like, it scares me. It's like, whoa, what am I going to do now? Ooh, black treat bag. Okay, so you can use metallic or you can use white, something that will pop up. This one I'm going to use black just so that you can see it on the screen. Okay, right. If you are a lefty, I understand that, you know, you're actually very careful to smudge your drawings because I've tried learning how to write using my left hand. That was fun. So I ended up smudging a whole lot of what I'm drawing. So using the PITT Artist, because this one dries really fast. So you don't have to worry about that. But like what I always say, it depends also on the surface that you are drawing on. Sometimes your surface is more matte, then it's easier to absorb the ink. But if your surface that you're using is a little bit glossy or it has a finish, so every surface is different. So, but this one really dries fast. All right, so what I'm going to do to avoid any smudges, I should start in the middle just so I can have an idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a ghost. We're going to create some characters here. So I didn't plan anything specific, but we're going to do something Halloween-y. So I have like in my head, I have ghosts, I have candles, skull, candies, treats, and all that fun stuff. All right, so the way I'm going to do my ghost is I want it to face facing to the right. So it's kind of like slight curving to the top. So it's kind of like the S curve that I did earlier, but instead of coming from the top, I'm going to move from the bottom like this. And then go down like that. So that's the base. And then just added that. From here, we're creating the fold. That. Zoom in real quick. So as you can see, what I'm doing is like one shape, or actually one stroke after the other. So I did that one line first, and then I connected the lines. And this one, I'm just going to connect it all the way there. So we have the body. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ghost face is going to be over here to my top right. So I'm going to put my arm, little tiny arm like this, just like that. And then over here, like that. And then kawaii faces, just going to do 2 dots. And then a very cute mouth, one straight line, and then the letter U. And then I did like a little diagonal line like that. There we go, just to the brightness. All right, so from here, I want to put a bow. So it's kind of like a letter C, and then I mirrored that letter C the opposite way. Same thing, it's kind of like a letter C over here. And then on the right side, just mirrored, doing the opposite. I'm just doing some slanted lines to add accent to my bow. All right, pretty cute. And I think I'm gonna put a treat. She's going to be holding a treat. So just straight line. See what I did there? If you feel like you have better control creating straight lines and short like this, so I'm just stopping in the middle and then just try to connect it as much as I can. And then enclose that bottom. And I think doing circles, bigger circles, is harder than creating straight lines for me, but that's just me. I feel like I could never make perfect circles. It's just always super hard. Yep, definitely not a circle. Close to a circle though. And then we're just going to add some over here in the middle, kind of like the inside of the snail. I'm just going to connect from here. Stuff. All right. Connect that line over there too. So from here, so basically I have the middle part now. So this is what I'm trying to do, is just trying to figure out how to fill the whole space. So if you have bigger drawings, of course, it's going to be easier to fill in the space, but I want to put in many doodles as much as I can in here, but also not overwhelm myself in creating too much characters that it's going to be a little stressful. So here, I'm just going to close this part, the 2 lines that we created. I'm going to shade that in. So that dark. All right. Now that we have it, I'm going to draw a little cupcake onto the left side of our ghost over here. So I'm going to fill this area right here in the middle with some sweets. Okay. So the way I would do my cupcake, I hardly make straight lines. if I don't have to. Like the candles, of course, it has to be a straight line, but I do my lines a little slightly curved, and you're going to notice me do that. So instead of a cupcake, like straight diagonal, I kind of curve it to kind of like a little C, so slightly slanted. So I'm just going to mirror that, the opposite, and then I'm going to enclose it. So it's almost like a letter U, isn't it? So this time I'm going to create a scallop. So it's like an upside down smile or a frown. So just make sure you be mindful about the spaces. So I'm not going to try and worry too much, just as long as I have enough scallop. And then from that line, I'm just going to bring everything down. So create some lines going down, right? So here's your scallop, just bring it down and create that line. And then here to your right, make it slightly slanted like this. There. And then I'm create my cupcake. Another C curve or an upside down smile. And this is where we're going to put our kawaii face. So 2 dots. You can change your expressions. We're going to do that later because we're going to make a lot of faces. This time I'm going to fill this area in here. All right, so the way I would do my icing is that from here, I would kind of like from here, stretch it down there and kind of like slanting on that top side. All right, so watch me first before you do yours. So here, kind of like following the same shape that we created here, but here I'm going to go a little bit going up, kind of like a hill, and then bringing it down again. Like that. And I'm going to repeat that. Like that. It was a little weird. I'm going to go this one really high because this is that tip of our icing. Like that. Ooh, that's a lot of whipped icing. There we go. You can add a cherry in there if you like. You know what? I'm going to do just that because it's super cute. Then I'll add another cute face in my cherry. There we go. But I feel like I have 3 big things in the middle now. And I have to create something over here, or maybe slightly to the bottom right, maybe over here. But once we fill everything with doodles, it doesn't matter so much of the spaces. It's just play with your orientation of your drawing. So instead of it just straight like this, maybe tilt your paper and then we'll create some candy that's facing left, you know, or so just play around with your orientation. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to make another ghost, but instead of it straight on, looking at it straight, it's still going to, now it's going to look to my left. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. So basic shape for my ghost, just kind of like B. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to create this one. Kind of like what we did earlier. So your slant lines over here. And then close this part right there. All right, so this time I'm going to go, my hand is over here. Basically, we're like mirroring this ghost. So she's like, ooh, okay, candy. Reaching for that candy. And eyes over here like this. And then a slanted smile. Hey, super cute. All right. And then here, I'm going to make another lollipop, lollipop. So just 2 straight lines, and then closing that part in. Now, how am I going to make a circle here? It's going to be a little tough because it's kind of like half. That's okay. And then repeat the same process we did earlier. We're going to create this swirl inside that lollipop. All right. I want to add a bow to my other ghost, but a simple one like this. It's kind of like adding a bunny ear. So, or like a little heart. And then I'm just going to add that to make it look like a bow. Very simple. Right. Here we go. And then over here, I'm going to make some candies. So candies would be, instead of it circle, I think I'm going to make it like a stretched oval like this. Yeah. And then like a slight curve again, kind of like when we're making the scallop for that cupcake. It's just like that. So from here, we do the same thing. Wings also of a butterfly. So you can see the more you doodle, you notice and you realize that, oh, it just looks exactly like this one or this one. I can make this into this one, you know? So it's like just play around with it. This time we're going to add some stripes inside our candy. So slightly slanted here, leaning to my right, being mindful of my spaces. So the inside of our candy, I'm going to repeat what I did here, but we're going to shade this part in. So we're going to color this with black. Right, so I'm just going to shade that part. All right. Okay, and then repeat the same process here, here, and then shade it. Now, when you're shading something, sometimes it takes a little bit to dry, so just allow a little bit of drying time in there, okay? All right. So I want to make more candies over here, but this time I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, but just following that same shape oval we created. And then look what I'm doing, still the same way to draw it, but everything's just a little stretched. So it's like longer. Like that. And then instead of using the same shape, I'm just going to add lines in here like this, following the orientation of the wrapper. So some are like slanted, right? And then this time, I'm not going to fill it with stripes, but just 2 over here. And I'm going to make 2 on the right side as well, because we're going to add a cute face here. So instead of just 2 dots for the eyes, we're going to make like a frown for the eyes like this. So an upside down U like that. And I want it to be super cute, so I'm going to add just some lashes. So some dashes, slashes, and then a big, big, big smile. There we go. All right. So over here, I'm going to add a bubble speech over here. So bubble speech, you can make it straight first with an oval like this. But see how I started with this way. And I'm not going to close it in because we're going to add that arrow. So I'm just going to stretch that line. And then this one is just slanted line. And then I'm going to add a heart inside. Like that. Okay. Here we go. Now we have to have a pumpkin in here somewhere. So we're going to make a pumpkin. I'm going to make my pumpkin over here because I have big space over here. So just be mindful of your spaces. So from here, I'm going to make that upside down smile again. So that frown, right? I'll start with that. That's how I'm going to make my pumpkin. So from here, we're going to make a C curve, like the letter C, and just stop almost basically where I started. Not so much, but very close. And then repeat that same thing. Mirroring on the other side. And then I'm just going to close it in and like that. From here, we're going to add the stalk of the pumpkin. Just like that. Add the cute face. So the traditional triangle for the eyes. Shading that shape in. Like that. And then for the mouth, just one straight line. And then a letter U, like that. This time I'm going to put in some cute missing teeth. So I'm going to make 2 teeth, one on the top, one at the bottom. And then we're going to shade this part. Fill it with your black. We're just filling that shade. That's super cute. And then I'm just going to add some lines for the pumpkin. So from there, I'm just going to make this messy lines. Notice that my line is not straight. They're like broken lines. This. I think it just gives character to your drawing. That's a cute pumpkin. All right. Okay, what else should we do? I think we should add some cute skull. How do we do that? So remember when we did our pumpkin? So this time we're going to make like a very like stretched letter C or a very stretched letter U or upside down frown, just like that. And then from here, we're going to like add sides. So 2 short lines on your left and your right. And then from here, bring it down a little bit, slant it again, just like that, and both sides. We're going to do this, just connecting our lines. We're making like a zigzag here. We're going to make 2 big oval and then fill that in. Notice that my eyes are slightly slanted or tilted like that. And then make a cute heart, upside down heart, like this. And then fill that shape in again. Super cute. All right. So I think I'm going to add a tombstone over here. like kind of what we did with our skull. Repeat that same process, just like this. And I'm going to just add a little bit of shadowing here. So I'm just following that shape and just adding a second line on the outside, like that. And then you can make things dashes like this. Instead of filling in the whole space inside, I'm just putting in like dashes like this to add a little bit of pattern and just a visual character. And then from here, I'm just following the shape, both sides, two sides first. So notice everything is just one stroke after the other. So I'm just going to close this in. My lines are slightly curved like that. And then close this part in right here also, like that. And then we're going to add faces over here. And then a big smile. Add here the word boo. Play around with your letters. I like it when it's like an imperfect doodle like this. I like it when my lettering is imperfect also. Not super careful with anything like that. What you can do is you can add an eye over here, this one. And then I would like to have another candy over here. I'm just going to add it like that. So basically it's kind of like creating half of the candy. Like that. And then here, I'm just going to add some broken lines again, kind of like what we did in the pumpkin. Like that. So I start from here and just stretch it out here. That. You can put in patterns over here. You can add like big polka dots. So you can fill that with pattern. You can add just stripes if you'd like. You can add small dots. You can add stars inside. So just play around with it. Or you can just use that polka dot I created. All right, so from here, I am going to make a candle now. So here we have this space on our bottom left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a candle. This time I'm going to make the top first. So it's kind of like a smile, like this. Zoom in just slowly. See how just my line is just slightly curved, not so much. So from here, I'm going to make like the drips of the candle. So like, look at my lines, just squiggly lines. And that's why those exercises in the beginning is super important. Just like that. And then I'm going to draw my line now for the candle. And then I'm going to add more drips over to the side. Like that. And then we're going to create a cute face. Just like this. Add my lashes. that. And of course, a candle. What is a candle without a flame? So we just add one straight line. Kind of like a teardrop. See? Just like that. And we're going to go repeat the same for the inside of flame. And then what you can do is you can add like lines to give a visual that, oh, that candle is putting out some light. Yay, look at us. And then for the insides, you can play around and fill in your areas that you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm missing something there, or it feels incomplete. Take a moment to, just pause a little bit and look at your artwork and say, okay, what can I add? What feels like it's missing something? When I feel like that, especially when it's like a very unplanned doodle like this, I feel like, okay, what are small characters that I can add here? You can create like smaller, candies. You can add some stars. I love adding just X like this, letter X. To me, it just adds a little bit of character, and also it fills in areas. You can add imperfect circles, some dots. You can add some stars, different sizes of stars. Some are big, some are small. And I like to do it in threes. So if I have a star in there, I'll definitely add a star in here as well. And just fill that in, and I'll add another one over here. Just add one there. And I feel like I want to add a star in here too. That, and just add one here too. Some X over here. So we're just playing with patterns, and at the same time, we're filling in our shapes in here, so it doesn't feel and look incomplete. All right, so here we have a big space over here on top. I feel like what I want to do here is really add the word boo. Okay, so this is big, so I am going to actually use my pencil first to just kind of like stretch out my letters from my lettering. So we're going to do a big lettering piece in here. So see, if I did that with my marker, I was like, ah, no. So it's nice to use some pencil sometimes just to kind of plan my drawing. Like this. And we're going to add for the letter B. I feel like I want this smaller. So go lightly when you're sketching. So I want to really fill in this space. So my letter O will be like a little wonky, but it's okay. I think it's going to match your drawing. Add that letter U, and this one will be really stretched. My letter O here will be stretched. Since we have those ghosts. All right, so it's kind of like I have a visual. You might not be able to see it. I have these sketch over here. Okay, now it's time to test this. Right? So what did you decide to put on the top of your drawing? Are you going to use the word boo also? You can just letter trick or treat in there. I think boo is good because it will just really fit with our cute ghosts in here. I'm going to fill this area, and this time I'm actually going to use my brush pen, because when I'm using a brush, it will actually fill in a much bigger space at a time. So I'm using the PITT Artist and brush tip because look, I can color in much larger area at a time. So just going to go one direction. Try not to be overly careful, but also at the same time careful. I want to say that this lettering is like a bubble lettering, but it's like really stretched and chubby and super cute. Right? And then I feel like it's so dark. Here we go. Let's adjust the brightness a little bit. All right, then I'm going to add my letter O this time. Whew, circles again. It's not my favorite, but I'll try my hardest. Here we go. So I'm just going to stop in there for a little bit and just continue on. And I think this is what's lovely about having a sketch first, is because you don't have to force yourself to create that one big shape at a time. So you can kind of like pause in the middle and then go on. So this one, we're going to make this really stretched letter O. Okay. Just going to fill this in. I'm using the body of my brush tip and it's slanted. And when I'm doing that, see how much space I'm actually covering here. Because if I will use the bullet tip, it will take me forever. We're definitely going to run out of time, and I'm still going to fill this space right over here. So I'm glad and I'm super thankful for different tips. The more tools you have and the more you play around with your tools, you're going to learn how to really use them properly. Right? Repeat the same process and fill this in. Isn't this so cute? Now, once you have all your doodles in here and you still feel like you have like extra spaces in between each character that you created, you can play around with different mediums. I have some metallic pens in here from Faber-Castell. We're going to use some of those. I actually have some white PITT Artist pen also. I'm going to add some highlights and some of the doodles that we created. It just gives a little bit extra to our drawing. Why am I struggling in this one? I don't know why I feel that. We can add accents using some metallic pens and white pens as well. So this one, I feel like I'm missing something over here on my top right. I I think I'm going to add another candy, but instead of a horizontal, it's going to be vertical. So I'm going to add here, kind of like what we did in the bottom, just like that. 1, 2, and then this one is more just 1, a little bit there. So just to fill in that space here. And then we're going to fill this in. Right there. Fill that area over there. Just going to add some stripes, and the stripes are bigger this time. So my spaces are bigger. And then I'm going to add some stars just to further fill in this area. Then I'm going to stop with the black, maybe a little bit of X in here. Right there. A little bit of X. Then I'll grab my gold metallic pen. The artist also has this gold. This one's the heart of gold, and this one is gold. So either way will work. So this time, I'm just going to fill in my space here with some dots. I'm just really going to use the tip of my pen without overthinking too much. So I'm going to start over here and just go like this, filling this in. If you have a white pen, this will work too. But I'm just going using the dots. I'm going to go zoom in real quick so you guys can see. I think my camera is having a hard time picking up the real color of this paper bag. This is like a very hot pink color, and it's looking like orange in my screen. So I'm just going to fill this in. If you want to use a black pen to fill this in, that's going to be just fine also. So without overthinking, I'm just filling right in. Stretched it. Spaces. And this is just going to just finish and make it feel complete, really. And plus, it really looks good. There you go. It's a little pink now. Filling it in. And also when you're doing this, it's super relaxing too. That's like because you're just following the motion of just adding your dots. Toot, 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 toot. And you can be silly like me and make noises like that when you're doing it. Wow. There we go. Like that. What is your favorite treat for Halloween? I'm like, I love any candies or chocolates, but I think my favorite, this is hard. I really like candy corn, really. Is it going, you're not going to get mad at me, right? Because I don't think I've ever had a candy corn in my life. What does it taste like, Sarah? Is it sour? Is it sweet? I am curious. So just fill that in. Sweet. Oh, you know what? For you, I'm going to try this Halloween. Amora said she loves chocolate. I love chocolate too. I really, really do. My favorite, and okay, so maybe M&M first. And then Reese's peanut butter. Ooh, Sarah said there's a spicy candy corn. I love spicy. So is it more like cinnamon spicy? I am super curious. You know what? I'm going to try this Halloween, some candy corn. Look, oh, that is so cute. I love seeing all your creations. Thank you so much for sharing those with us. And thank you for spending time with us today. This was really fun and super relaxing. I hope you'll register for next week's class because next week is going to be a little more complicated than this, but I think you're going to have lots of fun because I am going to draw and color a witch, a very cute kawaii witch. That might take a little bit of time. It might be less talking than this because we have a lot to cover next week, but that is for next week's class. I hope that you'll be able to register for that and join us again for another fun hour. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope it was inspiring and I hope it was fun and relaxing for you. Thank you so much, Faber-Castell USA. Thank you, Michaels. Until our next class, I'll see you there. Have some fun.